Looks like I hit an all-time low, 183.4. Yesterday I was 183.9. So that's an all-time low. I was 183.9 yesterday. This morning, as you saw, 183.4. So when you compare the two, the day before I did carnivore with the sugar diet. So I did sugar, carnivore meal, sugar. Weight stayed exactly the same. I was 183.9 for 2 days. Yesterday, I switched it up. I did sugar, lean protein, and then sugar, and that's what caused me to lose the weight. So it appears that you can do lean protein with this sugar fasting and you're gonna still lose weight. Now today, I'm gonna do something different. I don't go to the gym today, so I'm gonna do a full sugar fast. So I'm basically just gonna do sugar in the morning, sugar in the afternoon, and sugar for dinner. And let's see if I can get to 182, because my ultimate goal is to get to 180. So we'll see how that goes. Again, that is an all-time low for this year in 2025, is at 183.4. So I'm happy about that. I'm just gonna constantly be testing this. And I think moving forward, what I'm gonna do is on days that I don't work out, I probably don't need the protein, but then the other days I can just do regular sugar days. And we'll see if we'll get to that 180. Once I get to the 180, I think moving forward, I'm gonna have lean protein every single day with my sugar diet. So it'll be sugar in the morning, it'll be a lean protein after the gym, and then sugar at night. And that's how it's gonna go. I think that's gonna be a great lifestyle for me moving forward. So I just discovered something really fascinating about the two meals that I experimented with the carnivore diet and sugar, and just eating lean protein and sugar. Check this out. I'm gonna go ahead and put some screenshots up on the screen and I'll show you the comparison between the two. But when I did the carnivore with the sugar, my protein was really low. It was like 51 grams. I think the fat was around 46. And the calories were like 600 and something. I can't remember the exact number. But when I did the lean protein meal with the sugar in my diet, I ate 105 grams more protein and I ate 79 more calories and lost more weight. That is unbelievable to me, that I had 105 more grams of protein and I lost more weight with that meal, the lean meal, than I did with the carnivore meal. That's pretty impressive. That's something that I have been wanting to experiment with, which diet would be better, eating a carnivore diet with sugar or lean protein with the sugar. And it looks like the lean protein wins hands down. I ate more protein, I ate more calories, and I lost more weight. So for those of you who are so scared of losing muscle because you feel like you can't get the protein in, this would be the way to go. Now, what I will tell you, I think what would be a good strategy, you could do this one or two ways. If you want to still do carnivore, just totally separate it on your sugar days. Just have total meat days and no sugar. So you could do that. However, if you want to get the protein in every single day, you can go ahead and have sugar days with the lean protein. That's going to work just as fine as well. So you'll have to choose which strategy you want to do. I think for me, I could probably do a blend of the two because I still like fatty foods. I still like carnivore type stuff, but I also like lean proteins too. So what I'll probably do is on days that I want to have like my smoothies and have sugar, I'm just going to stick to lean protein. And on days that I want to have like more of a fattier meal, no sugar at all. So I think those two strategies are going to be absolutely amazing. So this is what I love about testing these things to see what the results are. And it's very customizable. That's the other thing that I like, is that you can customize this based on how your body responds to things. So that's what I'm going to do moving forward. I'm not saying you have to, but I think what I'm going to do is that on days I want to have fattier meat, I'm just going to keep the sugar in the basement, no sugar at all. And on days that I want to have lean protein, I'll get to have sugar. So it really is a win-win doing both strategies. So I wanted to share that with you. That is a really cool analysis as to you can have more protein, you can eat more calories, while having sugar and still lose weight. Now let's get home and let's make a shake. First meal of the day. I tell you, this mango strawberry with the strawberry lemonade juice from Costco never gets old. In fact, on the days I'm gonna have my meat days, like when I do more of a fattier meat, like carnivore, I'm gonna really miss drinking these, but not on my lean days. On my lean protein days, I can still have this. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to drink this, and then I actually might throw in some starch. All right, it's still early in the morning. I bought these Frosted Flakes like a couple weeks ago when I started this whole diet. I kind of messed up eating the corn flakes the first 3 days. Even though I still was losing a pound a day, it still worked. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna eat just a bowl of that, and then I'm gonna go outside in this crazy Florida heat. I'm gonna mow my lawn because I have a lot of yard work to do. I know after drinking this and eating the Frosted Flakes, I'm just gonna burn right through that. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit that, hit the lawn, come back. By the time I'm done, I'll probably have lunch. I'll probably do another smoothie, and for dinner, probably do the same thing. Maybe I'll throw some candy in there, and we'll see how the day goes, and we'll see if we'll hit 182 tomorrow. But stay tuned. I'm gonna upload some more videos of like exactly how my day is going to go. So I will see you in the next clip. All right, so the yard is done. Wasn't too bad today. Got a little bit of cloud coverage, so not bad. And I just want to thank everyone in the comments who told me about this blender, how sometimes it gets stuck. The one thing I was not using, now I know what this is for. Got to plunge it because sometimes there's an air pocket that gets stuck in there. So thank you for that. A couple other things while I make this shake, or actually you know what? Got to get some sugar. Can't forget the sugar. So one thing I want to address is there's a couple questions that I keep getting over and over and over again. Is how tall am I? So that's the first one. So let's talk about that. Not much to talk about. I'm 6'1". So I just want to address that. That is how tall I am. I'm sure I'm going to get this question again, but I want to at least tell you in this video, I am 6'1". The other thing, not really much of a question, but people I think are assuming that I must be on TRT because of my rear delts. Like I have no idea what that, or traps I think it is. Yeah, my traps. And people have probably seen some of my videos of my rear delts and traps. Now I don't get that. Like I don't know why people would think that I'm on TRT because I don't know. I mean, how big are my traps? I mean, I don't know. They look like they're pretty, I mean, I'm kind of wearing a different tank top today where you can't really see them, but they seem pretty normal to me. But I will answer that, and the answer to that is no. I have never touched TRT in my entire life. All right. I don't know. I think it's just because I've been training since I was 25 years old. I've been doing this for 24 years. So when you've been training that long and you haven't had any, well, I took like a 3-year break out of those 24 years. There was a period where I kind of took a break for 3 years. So you could look at it as like, 20 plus years. I have been working out in the gym, eating relatively healthy. Of course, I fell off back in 2020 like a lot of people did. I fell off for like 3 or 4 years. But I pretty much have been doing this since I was, 25. That reminds me of a story. So my life prior to 25, actually from the ages of 19 to 25, my life was a wreck. It was a total wreck. So I don't think I've ever shared this story on YouTube. In fact, this is what led me into fitness. Yeah, let me share that with you real quick. So what got me into the fitness, I could care less about the gym, about any of that stuff before the age of 25. I could care less, and I'll tell you why. Number one, I don't know what it is about that 19 age. I have no, maybe it's because you're out of high school and this is when you start to experiment with like life and different things. Maybe that's why it's such a common age for people to really mess up their lives. So what happened to me when I was 19, I met someone. It was a very healthy relationship. I was with them for like 5 years. It was horrible, horrible relationship. I got caught up in the party scene. All right. I don't know if I even shared this on my channel, but I was in that whole scene. Yes, I was doing different types of drugs and things like that. It was definitely in the party scene. So much so that I had a brother who was just 1 year younger than me. I mean, we did everything together. You know, I had failed first grade. I got left back because they said I was too immature. I mean, how mature can you be in the first grade? I don't know. But they discovered that I shouldn't have been held back. I couldn't believe I wasted a year of being held back when they found out later on that there was nothing wrong with me. But anyway, because I got held back in first grade, I was in the same grade as my brother because we were only a year apart. So from second grade on, actually from first grade on, I was in the same grade level as my brother. In fact, we even graduated together all the way up to high school. We graduated together, and he got caught up in the whole party scene too. To the point where there was this one particular day, I'll never forget it. He was trying to get to this concert that he wanted to go to. It was kind of like a concert that they have outside where there's like a bunch of bands and everyone's got their tents, kind of like a Woodstock type of thing, like a modern day Woodstock where you're out there as a bunch of bands, you know, a bunch of hippies, and you got tents, but these are like rock bands, right? So I'll never forget, it was the last day where before he actually went, he was changing his tire. He had like a flat tire and stuff, and I was going to help him. And we had gotten to some type of like argument because he was, you know, wanting me to lend him money, and I was kind of like, I don't want to do that because he had got caught up in the whole party scene too, and I didn't want to like fuel his addiction, so I didn't do it. But he was very upset with that. So I wanted to help him change his tire, but we weren't on good terms. We weren't speaking. So he goes to this concert, and then the next morning at 4:30 in the morning, I get a call from, put a little juice, one of his friends that said, hey, you know, your brother was unconscious and he got taken to the hospital. So I rushed down to the hospital, got there, and long story short, the doctor told me that he was brain dead, that he had overdosed and he died. So I tell you that story because I fell into this deep depression. You know, I had this bad relationship with this girl. We ended up breaking up after he had passed away. So I dealt with her and I breaking up and then losing my best friend, my brother, and I thought my world was ending. Now, this was back in 2001 when the World Trade Centers came down. So I literally thought the world was ending. I thought I lost personal things in my life, that we're being attacked from terrorists. I'm thinking, this is it. The rapture is going to happen. So I thought my world was just totally just crumbling all around me. So anyway, because of that, I fell into this deep depression, and I had a coworker at my job. Now, this is when I was a Publix bakery manager at the time. And I knew from that moment on, I did not want to do this for the rest of my life. When my brother died, I was like, I want to do something else. Now, this is kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing now. On YouTube, doing fitness. I'm a coach. I've helped hundreds of men from all over the world to lose at least 40 pounds in 16 weeks using my Keto Shed 40 coaching program. If you want more info on that, I'll just go ahead and put a link in the description. You can check it out. But anyway, I knew from that moment on, I did not want to do bakery manager type stuff for the rest of my life. But anyway, I had this coworker say, hey, you know what? I know you're going through some crazy stuff in your life. Why don't you come with me to the gym? Maybe it'll get your mind off of things. You'll start to feel better about yourself. I had to keep track of this sugar. So I took him up on it. I was like, all right, I mean, what do I got to lose? I've lost the most important things in my life. So I started going to the gym with him. And the first couple weeks when I went, I was hooked. From that moment on, I had been working out, exercising, learning about nutrition, all of this stuff because of my brother's death. So I attribute my whole life turning around. I like to use the 2 G's. The 2 G's. This is the 2 things that turned my life around during that horrific tragedy in my life. It was God, rediscovering my faith, and gym. 2 G's, God and gym. That is what got me out of the pit. And my life has never been the same. Now, I'm married to a beautiful woman. I got 3 kids, and life couldn't be better. So that, in a sense, that's kind of my story. So I don't know what made me share that story with you today. Probably because I've had people accuse me of, taking TRT and different things like that. And just wanted to give you a little backstory as to the reason why I'm in the shape that I'm in is because I've been doing this since I was 25 years old. I've done keto, I've done carnivore, I've done intermittent fasting. I even went vegan for 21 days. You know, a lot of churches at the beginning of the year, they do what's called the Daniel fast. I thought, all right, I'll give it a shot. But I went hardcore vegan. Okay, no starches, it was strict vegetables. You know, basically the Daniel fast, you can eat anything that comes from the ground. Well, you can eat potatoes, you can eat rice, you can eat all, but I didn't do any of that. It was strictly vegetables, and man, I felt horrible. I couldn't wait to eat meat again. Sorry, I can never be a vegan. But I lost 21 pounds in 21 days being a straight vegan, and I'm talking straight vegan, just vegetables. But anyway, I wanted to share that story. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna get this thing going, and got my plunger here, so it probably should work a lot better. I think people say that sometimes you get a little air pocket in there, and that's why it doesn't mix. So we're gonna use that, we're gonna drink it, and we're gonna continue with our day. It's the last meal of the day. Got my strawberry mango smoothie. It's almost 5 o'clock, so I usually try to end my meals at around 5 o'clock. I don't like to go to bed heavy and having all this energy from the sugar. The only other thing that I had today during lunch, I know this is kind of crazy. You saw my smoothie, right? But I actually had some nerds, and then I had some watermelon. So that was really the only thing that I had for lunch. Then took a walk, came home, and now we're eating dinner. So be really anxious to see how this scale moves down tomorrow with this sugar fast that I did today. Really excited to see what the results are. Today's results, like I said, pretty amazing. You can eat lean protein with the smoothies and still lose weight. So that's pretty much how I'm going to end the day. So if you really enjoyed this video, make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and always hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. Until next time, I'll see you tomorrow.